And I was definitely going through that period of self-assessment. We were actually, and I
Yeah.
lived on the same college floor as this one in '96, and ran into her again probably right after you moved into the house.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
Completely random. And now
And
she
I
lives
live
in the
in
house
Sarah's
or in the
room.
room that
Yeah.
this one would be in. Go figure. But the way that the Karen house has cursed me is that I carry it around with me all the time. And I don't think I had really fully understood that until, I wasn't around as much as Sarah was, but I don't think it really hit me until last night, coming back and seeing everybody, how much I had been involved and had allowed folks to influence me in everything from very subtle to really profound ways. And so anyway, I was working at coffee shops mainly, and finding ways to not use my brain at all after a lot of school, and kind of not figuring out what the hell I was going to do. And now I could not possibly imagine doing anything different. I work at a social services agency now, in a low-income community on the south side, and it's I can't imagine doing anything different. And I now, looking back along that strange kind of winding journey, I can connect it back to whatever, some sort of seed that was really planted here. And so I guess I just want to say thank you. Because I really found out who the hell I was and what I was supposed to be doing, whatever that means. But I can really connect it back to here. So I really like biking. And just like if you find yourself biking everywhere, you kind of de facto turn into a representative for cycling. People ask you, why the hell would you bike 3 miles to work every day and things like that? Well, I think that's kind of what the Karen House has done to me. I find myself being a representative for what this community is all about. Being a representative for people who are struggling through their lives. A representative for trying to create a community of integrity. And so, just by default, the Karen House has cursed me with, even as much as I try to avoid it, being a representative for what this house is all about. So that's how the Karen House is.
Oh, I remember curse. Everywhere I go, people give me donations for Karen House.
And you can't go anywhere without schlepping stuff with
Yes.
you.
I can't
Yes.
say no
Yeah,
to
me neither.
donations.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
just want to say that the Karen House, the Catholic worker, found me at just the right time and literally changed the course of my life. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be interested in what I am. My vocation would be completely different. Thanks to Mark Schimmel and Tekka and Becky for coming to my freshman class at Webster University and asking us all to take house. And I was like, all right, why not? I came from completely different backgrounds, and this was my first exposure to any sort of thinking like this, any kind of spirituality that was sort of actualizing the world and lived out. And my eyes were open, and my life hasn't been the same. So thank you guys for who you are.
We're so lucky.
Oh.
I'd like to say that one of the big blessings I've had from being associated with Catholic Worker is that it's convinced me that living in such a diverse and wonderful community has convinced me that even at my age, I don't have to stop growing.
Hear, hear.
Packed full of people, and we all shared stories about Mark, and toward the end I felt, and I didn't say it then, I don't want the opportunity to pass again. I wanted to say in community that I love you, Mark, just for people to hear that. And I want to say that now, I love you. Oh. This has been such a, you all and this place and this building and this community and the guests, Dorothy coming by, all that. It's been such a deeply transformative time that obviously stays with me. All of you, it's been wonderful. Thank you. I have to say that out loud.
It's a pleasure.
For posterity.
I just want to say, you all stay with us. I mean, it's been so long since you've all been here that you might feel like the house has moved on from you, but it hasn't. Your stories, your names, the newest community members that come in and know them and know the mark you left on the house. Like, you're all still so much a part of
It's kind of fun in a way. I was thinking, you know, we make decisions by consensus, and then you have this ongoing, these rules and this tradition, and people come and they think, why do we do it like this? And we go, oh, it's because of this and this and this. And it's all built, and we change things and we start over, and you know, but we do a lot of building on stuff that, you know, like Mark's shoe left us with stuff for 20 years.
I will, putting the lock on the stove, do you remember how long we did that? Because
I still go through the knives in the drawer.
And that's
There you
because
go.
of Elijah.
Oh, that's Elijah. Oh, that's
And that he was one of the first families, the Suttons were there, and he was a very disturbed kid. He would even stand and rock.
that was
Not
Stephen.
No,
No, it was
Elijah
Elijah.
was the rocker.
Yeah.
Elijah rocked.
Boy,
and
I remember
Elijah
Stephen
took-
doing it like crazy.
Well, Steve did too. He did do some, but Elijah would take a knife and go under the children's table that we had in what's now the adult sitting room and hold it at his stomach under this little table. And Luann could get him to put the knife down and come out. She would sit and talk softly to him, but he was so sort of fiercely focused internally, I think. Anyway, that's why we way back in about October when the house was open, we put the knives away. Yeah. And Elijah's now 42 and a plumber.
Oh. Plumber, can you give me his name?
I promise you, it's way better than having a doctor in the family.
There's so many things I want to say, but I just want to say something that hasn't been spoken about at all, and that's the RoundTable.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why to say this. I want to thank this community for keeping it what it is, and being so faithful to that tradition all these years. It was such a major part of our lives, and I think it's such a major part of this movement to take tradition seriously, to take scholarship seriously, to think and to clarify, to do it publicly, and you all have carried that tradition on so well. And I get it in real on that. You know, it's just, I don't agree with a lot of stuff. You know, I don't have to. The point is, it feeds me. It engages me. And there's so many things I'd like to say, but that hasn't been spoken of today, at least in the place that I've been in. And, it's a great part of this community.
Then
Thanks for keeping it.
Bill Miller was one of the people who really helped shape it in its current.
Do a lot of thinking and that kind of thing of this current community and things like that. And my response usually when people talk about the current house community is like, you have no idea how screwed up we are. Like, but it's interesting being in this setting where you all lived in screwed up, flawed, fractured communities and look back at that experience and you know, in a hopefully sort of cool way. So that's kind of inspiring to me when you're mired in sort of the muck of it all. that step back is really awesome. And sort of related to that, sort of not one of the things that has inspired me throughout my time here is the RoundTable. And a few years ago, we went through a project of putting all of the RoundTables online so you can download them. General. But that was so inspiring, just seeing all the way back into the first few issues, you all were right on, and that we can take issues from 1977, sorry, and they're still relevant today. And, I mean, y'all were writing issues about women's ordination in the early 80s, and, you know, like, all these powerful things about nonviolence, you know, in the late 70s. So it's just, we have such a rich history because of all of y'all's voices that, you know, that continues to sort of build what we have. So it's mind-boggling to me how awesome you all have been and how awesome this community has been, despite all of our fractures.
And how awesome it is. You all doing great stuff.
Such beautiful color on here. It's like, fix it up well.
It is a curse, the RoundTable, though, in a way, because you know how, like, you look at people's whatever vacation or some pictures and you're like, wow, that whole thing was fun, that whole week, and you know, vacation was fun the whole time. And Virginia has actually been helpful over the years because I'm like, these people were the hardcore ones. We are soft and not hardcore, and you all were awesome. And it's great because Virginia's been like, sweet. We did a few things like that. Pretty real.
They spent those $20 on, you know,
That's right.
Wild
Yeah, and then
living.
you tell stories like that, and I'm like, God, they were so much more hardcore.
That was fun, actually, because all of our needs were met. Absolutely every need was met. You know, it was just this wild $20. You couldn't appreciate $20 otherwise. You know?
The standard now is 100, so we're probably
So
about,
there you go. It's probably
cost of
equivalent.
living.
Well, unlike you, Virginia, I learned to really be very careful with my $20. You know, and yeah, I had the exact opposite.
You guys tell them the Oreo story. That is such a not
$20 worth of Oreos? I can't imagine.
That is a like pretty carrying on story.
I know, but it fits though.
Do tell, do tell.
Okay, well, I'm going to first on my Yeah, so I really learned how not to spend money. You know, and it's like, well, how do you live when you don't have much? Just don't buy anything. I mean, I really learned that from that experience. And you realize, wow, I could go for several days, a whole weekend. I mean, living here, so yeah, it's very different.
Right. Yeah.
And then later, I was standing next to her, I was talking to Sarah.
Have everyone gather?
I wanted to do this all day long, so I'm going to do it.
We're just trying to be on a timeline for Janet, who has to catch a bus at 6. So we're going to try to just get started, and Janet, when you need to leave, go right ahead. But we guys kind of most of them, especially on the gift that Karen House and Cass House has been in our lives. We call upon you and ask that you continue to guide and inspire us, and we ask for the presence and guidance of our brother and sister community and guests who have gone before us. Mark Shue.
Madam, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you ill or in prison and visit you? And she will say to them in reply, Amen, I say to you, whatever you did for the least of mine, you did for me. Then she will say to those on her left, Depart from me, you accursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and the devil's angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. A stranger, and you gave me no welcome. Naked, and you gave me no clothing. Ill and in prison, and you did not care for me.
All in response. Just respond. It's simple.